I have a friend and a colleague who is a little bit more in your face than I am. She and I have different strengths about delivering our message, even though we serve the same audience, even have very similar services. She and I have very similar programming foundations. We'd have to, right? I mean, it's the same audience, same research, and you can only come up with so many variations unless you're using your creative whim and your mood on a certain day, and we are not. But people show up in my community who say, I follow her too, but she's intimidating to me. I can't really relate. And other times I've supervised dozens of fitness instructors, and many have attempted to motivate by saying things like, you don't squeeze your glutes, nobody else will. Look, on my YouTube channel of 170,000 organic followers, so many comment things like, too much talking, get to the workout. And yet they have the time to comment and thousands of other options to follow for free instead. I know these quick fix seekers on my YouTube channel are not my people. But what you have to decide, and I do, is there any truth to what they say? Is there any other way to say it without alienating somebody that could get me better results and still get the message across? Your job and mine is to know what words will make your best health coaching clients, those prospective clients, recoil and run the other way. Which is which? Right? So you want to make sure you're attracting the right ones and repelling the wrong ones. And then to consider if the words you choose make them run away, those that you don't want to work with, is that a good thing? I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business. It's a division of Voice for Fitness where we believe that you want to be an inspirational example to other midlife women. And in order to do that, you need a profitable health and fitness business. Quite often the problem is a lack of clients, or a lack of really clients who are paying what you value, your value, and the transformation value that you provide them. And look, I know how it feels to be in your shoes, feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, or if this is anything more than a hobby, because I've been there too, feeling like I can help but not knowing how. It's why I coach internationally, and I do it with 3 steps. We make sure, first of all, we get you more clients right away. We make sure that what we are getting you in terms of revenue, more of it is profitable. And then we make sure that we don't back you into corner, so you have freedom of time to spend that financial resource that you're creating for yourself and for your family. So you can book a call with me, but in the meantime, I want you to get the Health Fitness Professionals Business Scorecard. It allows you to go through step by step and point out where you have gaps that you can focus your time and attention to close them now. So you can stop feeling like your dream slips away while you watch other less credible and qualified professionals attract clients, and you instead can start growing your business and your revenue by at least $5,000 a month within the first 90 days. And that's a promise. All right, let's dive back into this. So, I started with that story of a friend of mine. We serve the same audience, and we do it in 2 separate ways. We're different personalities, and that's why there's room for you and there's room for everybody. It's why I would be coaching other women who also want to coach women who are in midlife. It's why I give you the method, the system, and the formula that we've used to work with over 250,000 women. Why we have a step-by-step and a blueprint. So it's not, okay, sometimes it works and sometimes I can get somebody progress and sometimes I can't. You have to have the blueprint. And if you use the blueprint, you can get there. But you have a different personality than I do. And you're going to attract a different person than I do based on that. So here's the question. When you're not getting a client to say yes, is it something you said? Certain phrases, even single words that you use could alienate your best coaching clients, and it could be hurting your marketing. In my own experience, some women who feel so strongly about the use of the word girl or girlfriend will let me know it. They will write in and they will say, you wouldn't do that with a man. You wouldn't call him boy. Please stop, they will say. Others of us in kind of this era demographic, if you will, recoil at the term ladies. So for me, that takes me back to junior high and a very feminist PE teacher who used to, when we deserved it, actually call us and say, look, ladies. And I absolutely hate that word. But who knew, right? But someone who uses that word regularly, I would never participate in their program. I would never opt to have them as a coach. And the reason is that just does not call to me. It makes me go the other direction. And to someone who's writing to me and saying, girl or girlfriend just really alienates me, I'm probably going to have to choose. And honestly, I have. That word's not going to disappear because although I am a grown ass woman, pardon my French, I'm never going to stop being a girl. I'm a girl at heart. I have girlfriends, and I'm going to say to friends of mine, girl, you need to change your thought. And that's what I'm going to do when I'm talking to my audience. But you have to decide, do you consciously want to do it? And that's all this is intended to do. The very words you use as terms of endearment or to connect and build rapport could be turning away your best clients. So here's the kicker. You and not even they may know it. So this episode isn't going to solve any world peace. It's not going to give you a conclusive say this, not that. What it is going to do is share with you the unique nuances that you may consciously choose to keep using if it's a part of your brand, or you may opt once you're aware and sensitive to consciously change them. I've mentioned terms like girl, girlfriend, lady, ladies, or approaches like aging gracefully or women in their prime. They all sit a certain way with any one of us. And it's based on our own background, our own history, our own personal experience. How they sit is just related like your thumbprint to you. And it probably is tied to individuals who, like my PE teacher, who in our lives used those terms that we liked or didn't like. Ladies, for me, just doesn't work. I'm a girlfriend kind of person, and I'm not changing that. I'm going to be a girl till I die. I'm not going to be a lady, much as I might try. I don't have a desire to age gracefully, but to age racefully, speeding to a halt, having used up every reserve, exclaiming, what a ride. That's more my style. That's me. And what I have to decide is it also my brand? And I think that for you is the question that I pose to you today. What is your brand? What is the brand that you'll hand to every contractor who works for you, every virtual assistant, every daily operations director, every customer service individual on your team? What will they know is something you'll say and something you won't. Potentially, this has already got you thinking about terms that you use much by probably default, and they may or may not be landing on people the way you want them to because you've never thought about this. And there's more. The next side of the episode is about instruction and directives, not alone bad things like telling people, here's what I want you to do. And here's one really easy example. On your website, where say you have an opt-in page where you're offering something for free, what we call a freebie, in exchange for an email. What do you say on that button? Add your email, hopefully. Or do you say subscribe now? Or do you say sign up? Because those words matter, but so too does it where you have a program for sale, what we call the sales page, right? What do you say? Do you say learn more, or are you saying buy now, which is really the directive that you want them to do? So if you're sending them to learn more, and they're actually going to a sales page or directly to the cart to put it in to buy, should you be more direct? I'm going to let you answer that question. All right. And if you're dying to know, you can ask. I will tell you what I think and what I've learned. So, probably more strongly, what I've learned. What I think or what I thought at one time is probably not what I think now. So let's talk about this. Oddly, as much as we'd like to learn, or if you didn't like to learn, you wouldn't be here. It seems that most of us, most of the adult population, doesn't like to be reminded of school when they were constantly told what to do. So if you have buttons, say in a Facebook ad that says learn more, it may not be as effective as you think, but it is very passive if what your real intent is to take them to a sales page where it's buy now. And at one point, Facebook ads or Facebook ad execs or experts used to say, if you take somebody to something where they can learn more people may click on it because it's not so offensive or in your face. But here's the deal. If it's a lie, like you say, learn more and you go to a sales page or to the cart, then it's kind of deceptive and you probably have lost your chance with them anyway. So you need to decide based on that. Okay. I'm going to talk about marketing words and phrases that alienate best health coaching clients that you may be missing because of these. These will seem fairly benign. And you may be like, are you kidding me? I use that all the time. Here's one example. You need to. Have you said that lately? Just type that into your website. See how often it comes up. You can use I needed to. And you can tell a story about yourself. You can use we tend to and tell some statistics about behavior. But unfortunately, you need to kind of lands like, this is what you need to do. Like, listen to me because I'm your parent and I'm telling you, and this is what I need you to do right now. I mean, can you imagine? The place I think about this is like at a store or somewhere where there was bad behavior, maybe mine too, and you just say, I need you to do right now is listen to me, and so ineffective, so very ineffective if I think back about it now. But you need to tends to land like that. When you're talking to an adult as an adult, could be a bit condescending. The next one is way too similar, but potentially you're using it also, but elsewhere. You have to. So you're saying something like, in order to get more lean muscle, you have to lift weights. Okay. I mean, me talking to you as a coach to a coach, I would say, yes, you're right. You're very true. That's very true. But what could possibly go wrong with that? Well, depending on your ideal client, it often works best when they identify what they think they need to do instead of hearing it from you. How can you lead them to making that choice and decision themselves? It's not all that different, again, than kids. You can list facts and science without saying, you have to do this. If you haven't gotten to you from I and we, meaning you telling an I story. Like, I used to think that I could gain muscle from, say, running and being just very fit in a cardiovascular way. And we tend to think that fitness of any kind will give us more lean muscle. That's when you have the opportunity to say to them in a question as opposed to a you need to or you have to lift weights. What about you? Have you thought before that just doing cardio will actually give you the same benefits in your muscle as strength training? So now you're challenging their thought process, but you're allowing them to kind of tell their own story and unravel it as opposed to giving them a condescending, here you go. The third one is you should. So we started with you need to, and then it's you have to, and now it's you should. This one is probably the strongest of the three, even if it's something like you should be proud of yourself. And we went over this in the continuing education course for coaching essentials, coaching essential skills. And when you say something like you should feel proud of yourself, it's really something parents are often suggested to say that to a child. But, I think you're still giving them a directive. What you want to come back to is the I. Tell a story about I, then we, and then get to you. So you should feel proud of yourself. Ironically, that comment may have intended to put them into some intrinsic motivation and internal praise, but you just shoulded on them, right? Don't should on anybody. So what you want to do is say, I would think maybe that's better, right? I would think you'd be really proud of yourself. Or you simply ask an open-ended, what does that feel like? What does that feel like to you to know that you did that? So you're planting the seed, you're helping them get to that sense of pride or be able to label it without telling them you should do it or you need to or you have to. I would love to know how this landed on you. You should have an opinion. Okay. You need to leave a comment. How is that feeling for you? Right. So same idea, but really I'm just challenging you to think a little bit more about the words you use. And we started out rolling off with terms of endearment like ladies or hey lady or hey women who are in midlife or primetime women. I don't like that one either, really. I don't know why, but something about the word prime to me doesn't really sit. And I know we are in midlife and it's like, the definition of the word prime fits, but the word itself, I just don't love. And other people do. But you're never going to find a program on mine called that. So, even if, hundreds of thousands of women would tell me that's what they want, I still don't think I would do it because you can't sell something that you don't believe in. So you really need to love it and it needs to feel like your voice. And if you are your brand, like if you are a solo entrepreneur, you're not necessarily building a big kind of many employees and other people doing the same thing that you are. You really have to think about what will you say? What can you say? What feels normal and natural to you so that you're authentic and transparent. And it's never a case where you say would be in public versus behind the scenes and somebody would see you boarding a plane, for instance, and say, oh my gosh, are you flipping 50? I'm grateful for this, but I'm grateful that I'm never embarrassed when somebody asks that. And whether I'm in a visor and I haven't even washed my hair that day because that happened. Yep. Happened at Walgreens once too. Similarly, I look like something the dog drug in and I'm like, it had to be today. Yep. It had to be today that somebody recognized me. And it's just so surprising to me when that happens. But also, it's happened when, it was at 6:00 in the morning and, I'd gotten up at 4 and just, that's probably not my best time of day. I'm just saying I'm much better by evening by candlelight. But, when you are the same person all the time, whenever somebody runs into you, asks you a question, you don't have to think about how to answer. You can simply answer as yourself. And that just makes it so much easier, so much easier. But that's how you need to deliver the message to anyone who's a contractor or an employee, if you've got them in your business. So you start transparently and authentically, and it starts with you and it ends with every last person on your team. and they feel comfortable knowing exactly who you are and knowing exactly, no, I know what Deborah would say to this. And, she's not available to answer for herself right now, but I will tell you that this is how we handle that, or this is what we do. And they would know. That's what I love for my team members to do and to know, to be able to answer in their voice and say, hey, this is, Anthony, and I do this behind the scenes and I'm taking over, and here's what happened. And here's why we haven't quite solved that for you, might be what he's answering, but he answers it in the brand voice, talking as himself, but talking and vouching on behalf of us. That's what you want everybody on your team to be able to do. So, if you would never call them, you still got it, girl, but that is actually in our tagline. We own that term. It's trademarked. You still got it, girl. I am always going to be a girl and a girlfriend kind of a brand. And you can decide, what are you? What do you want to be? What don't you want to be? And that in your, say, style guide is of equal importance. What do you stand for? What do you not stand for? What is most important to you? And who are you for? And what are you against? Are great questions. I hope this has been helpful just to make you think a little bit more about every sales page, every email, every live, every post that you make, and where things might land that could interfere or could help and support you attracting your best health coaching clients. And that's exactly where you'll find show notes if you're searching for them at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/best health coaching clients. And what are you waiting for? The world needs us right now more than ever.